Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about zodiac or astrological sign compatibility between Scorpio and another Scorpio. And yes, it does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant for both people. Well, anyway, as far as this compatibility goes, well, when you have two people of the same sign, it generally could be either really exceptional, really phenomenal combination, or it can really go the other way sometimes, and it may not be as good. It's neutral overall when you have two people of the same sign in compatibility or synastry. Now, because you could have some strong commonality with the characteristics, but at the same time, you have the familiarity breeds contempt theory can apply. And sometimes when you have two people the same sign, well, you have this friction, and it can kind of get to each other to some degree. So, and they may rub each other the wrong way at times because of the similarities are in there so similar astrologically. Now, the thing about it is, on the positive end, you could have a mutual admiration society for each other, and you each might admire the other for having very strong courage and fortitude, indomitable spirit, being able to be resilient and bounce back from adversity, having very strong wills. And these people can actually, whether this is a sexual, romantic, significant other, platonic relationship, whether it's a friendship, even, well, they could actually, these two people can collaborate well together, perhaps on something Scorpio-like, such as astrology, the occult, supernatural, and whatever these people do together, they will do it generally to the bitter end, because being a fixed sign, they could be about persistence and really about consummating the deal, so to speak, finishing it and persevering regardless of the obstacles that may be put forth in front of it. Now, these people, say if this is a situation where these people are living together and it's a significant other scenario, well, you can have these people will be very often very loyal to each other and help each other through adversity, and everybody goes through trials and tribulations, and these people will apt to be very supportive of each other. What's interesting, though, is on the other side of the coin, on the negativity, well, when you have two people that could be very resolute and sometimes even willful, you could have power struggles and clashes. You have two Scorpios, and neither one is going really to be able to outmanipulate the other. And if you're in a situation, say, where this is a romantic, sexual, significant other situation, and one person is cheating on the other will have to find out very quickly. Scorpio has a very strong proclivity to see through duplicity and subterfuge from another person, and they'll be able to see any possible transparency or any deception from the other very readily. So, really, yeah, so the thing is, if you're going to do this into another, you're Scorpio and you're another Scorpio, well, the other Scorpio is apt to find out very quickly, more so probably than the other 11 zodiac signs on average. What's interesting is at one time I had two prominent family members that had both had prominent Scorpio prominently placed in their natal charts. One had a Scorpio ascendant, and one has a Scorpio sun. And the thing is, it seemed like even though they were very loyal and steadfast, and that they were very loyal to each other, they also seemed like they were almost in a perpetual battle or clash with each other. And I think when you look at Scorpio in a negative expression, Scorpio can be sometimes crisis oriented. And I think it just seemed like with them, it was like like it was a battle that just went on. And you might have it in spurts, but it seemed like it was a very continual thing. And the thing about it is, you have two Scorpios going at it. They could be very caustic, and really the mouth the expression "the pen is mightier than the sword" or something similar to that. Well, I think that's very apropos when you have two Scorpios going at it. Now, the thing is, if this is a sexual situation, well, as far as in the bedroom, uh, I mean, the sex, there's no reason why I wouldn't think they would enjoy, because very intense and powerful, to say the least. Both could be very passionate. Both are desiring that deep emotional connection. And the only thing that the one negative, could there be such a thing as something a little bit too intense? So that would be the only thing I would look at. But the thing is that these people really can be very, as far as the transformation goes, Scorpios are about transformation and regeneration. And these people can very have a strong ability to uplift each other and perhaps change or help transform their lives to some degree for the better. The only problem is that both these signs, being fixed signs, are not always apt to change very quickly. So that's something to consider as in factor in as far as the compatibility between these two people. Well, anyway, it's also important to look at the aspect, if any, that is made between the energies of these people, as this could indicate perhaps maybe not as good compatibility, or maybe around the same, or it could be, or maybe even a little bit better than otherwise indicated. Well, anyway, in many instances, you'll have a conjunction aspect take place between the energies of these people. Let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Scorpio at 18 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Scorpio at 16 degrees. Well, that would form a conjunction aspect, which could be very intensifying. And I see this as neutral. They're already neutral by sign being of the same sign. And the thing is, if you have a conjunction aspect, you might have some strong commonality with each other and really feel it strongly, because the degrees are the side, you're so close by degree, and feel it very intensely. And there might be some, like, you might feel some instantaneous, a quick connection. But on the negative side, you have the friction. And when you have conjunction aspects, that's what that can bring about. So you have the good and the bad. They're already in the same sign, and they're neutral as far as by sign goes, as far as the compatibility goes. Then you have the conjunction aspect, which is neutral, which is really pretty much keeps it about the same, really. So as far as the compatibility and synastry goes. And when you have two people of the same sign, something else I want to touch up on is that it's really more important to look at, I think, the other synastry aspects between these two people than when it's not of the same sign and when you don't have the conjunction. So that's something to consider as well. Now, on the positive side, though, you can have a semi-sextile aspect take place between the energies of these people, which will not happen that often. However, if one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Scorpio at 0 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Scorpio at 29 degrees, for example, that would form a semi-sextile aspect, which I call it slightly positive or slightly auspicious. It's good, but not necessarily great. It's like the sextile, but because it's a minor aspect, it's not quite as strong or intense. And you might have a little bit more harmony between these two people than otherwise indicated by the general compatibility interpretation. And keep in mind, they are still neutral as far as the compatibility by sign being the fact that they are of the same sign. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for zodiac sign compatibility between Scorpio and another Scorpio. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about zodiac sign compatibility between Scorpio and Sagittarius. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.